Hello, everybody, and welcome to the It's Queens podcast covering the second week in March. That's actually 8 to 14 in 2019. As always, I'm Rob M.I.A from the Queens Tourism Council. And as always, you are...
Not Rob M.I.A. I am Chris Donovan.
From
Queens.
From Queens. You might notice that behind us is someone whose name is Lewis Howard Latimer. We'll get to him later.
Yeah.
Right?
He's not going to talk much.
He's not going to talk much. He's just there to look good. And he does look very good, doesn't he?
Handsome man.
Yes. So we have a kind of an interesting week ahead of us. There are 3 different movies which are worth mentioning. One is the winner of the Best Documentary at the 2018 Tribeca Film Festival.
That's a prestigious award.
Yeah, and it's showing. It's the New York debut post festival.
Okay.
It's an exclusive engagement. It is called Island of Hungry Ghosts, and it's a documentary about a woman. A social worker who provides therapy to asylum seekers on Christmas Island, which is just off Australia, and it's a detention center.
Right.
I think Alcatraz.
Australia used to be a detention center, basically.
Well, it used to be a penal colony.
Right, yeah.
And so these are people who are obviously, fleeing. They're refugees. They're fleeing rough, war-torn areas, and they are hoping to get into Australia, and they are at this refugee center. So this documentary follows the social worker and what she does.
Nice.
Her name is actually Po Lim Lee, which I think is Vietnamese, but it might not be. And it's actually running from March 8th to March 17th at the Museum of the Moving Image, which means you have plenty of time. They're showing it a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And as I said, it is an award-winning film, and it's really only in New York for this one limited engagement. So
and at the Museum of the Moving Image.
Yeah,
yep.
not a comedy, but
no.
Definitely
serious
a powerful
subject matter.
Definitely a powerful, yeah. And there's actually another documentary that the Queens Historical Society is going to show on March 9th at 2:30. It has a similar theme. It's about a woman whose real name is Matangi Aro Pragasam.
Yeah,
So she doesn't seem like an Irish guy from Woodside.
No,
right?
No, I don't think she was marching this past Sunday in
right.
the St. Pat's for all.
She is also her father was. Do you know the Tamil Tigers? In Sri Lanka, there was a rebel group called the Tamil Tigers. And they did a lot of similar terrorism that we see around the rest of the world.
No kidding.
Sri Lanka was a rough period for her. Her father was one of those.
Oh, wow.
And so she actually was a refugee too from the Sri Lankan Civil War.
Okay. She settled down in Great Britain?
She ended up going from a refugee camp to England, and then she became a superstar singer in the Tamil-speaking, and I should say the Indian subcontinent. But, Tamil is a very broadly spoken language in India. She's a superstar singer. She goes by the name M.I.A. because her name is Matangi. She's also known as M.I.A.
Right.
So this is a documentary on her life as she goes from absolutely nothing to being on top of the world.
Good for her.
It's kind of interesting. Only one showing, though.
Rags to riches, but it's a one show pony. At Queens Historical Society.
At the Queens Historical Society.
Historical house, right?
Which is at the Kingsland Homestead, which is a historical house. Interesting thing about the Kingsland Homestead.
Give it to me.
If you go there.
And you should.
It had a landmarked tree. Mm-hmm.
Elm?
I think it was a weeping beech.
Oh, look at you.
But it was hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Right.
And the city landmarked it. And it was right in front of this house. Unfortunately, the tree died. However, it did drop some acorns, and its offspring is growing in the front yard. But if you ever go to the Queens Historical Society, which is located at the Kingsland Homestead, you can actually see the tree, and there's a plaque there that says, this is the first child, it's not like generations ago, of a historic tree that was landmarked.
No kidding.
Yeah, they landmarked a tree.
I like it.
Yeah, Queens, we got it all in Queens. Anyway, the other movie is also, it's in Latimer House. This guy right here. Well, I guess we have to take a break and
my man the first LL,
yes,
the original
Louis
LL.
Latimer, the first LL Cool J. He was an inventor who lived in Flushing. He helped Thomas Edison, and Graham Bell, right?
Graham Bell. Okay, Alexander Graham Bell.
So he was involved in inventing both the light bulb, filaments for the light bulb, and the telephone.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
You're trying to drag it out of me.
I was trying to drag it out of you. I'm thinking, this isn't coming to me fast enough. Why isn't this coming to me? But that's only a part of what he did. He was a poet. He did all kinds of stuff. His house has been converted to a museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that's only just part of it.
That's right.
We'll get to him later. Anyway, at that museum, the museum has a very active executive director, Ron Yan. Have you met her?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she wants to do programs that she thinks Latimer would have loved.
Yeah.
A lot of poetry. She's always having poetry readings,
big
and stuff
poetry
like that.
place,
And she's always scientific exhibits and stuff like that. She actually has a tinkering lab over there for kids to learn science. This, because it's Women's History Month, they're actually showing a movie called Pariah, which I had never heard of before.
No,
you're a movies guy.
I am. Well, I used to be, and then I had a kid, and now every movie I see has a cartoon.
Okay. Computer graphic image.
Basically,
CGI is your middle name. Mm-hmm. Well, Pariah is about a 7-year-old African-American woman in New York named Alike, or Alike.
Okay.
Who comes out and learns to embrace her identity as a lesbian.
All right.
So that's kind of interesting. So those are three very good movie options.
Quality movie
That's
options.
only one show, and that's on March 10th. Okay. So remember, you've got the documentary on the refugees on the island off Australia, starting from March 8th and running to the 17th. Then you've got March 9th. You've got the British, the Sri Lankan / British superstar. And then on Sunday the 10th, you've got a powerful movie about a woman embracing her lesbian identity. That brings us to global mashups. Now,
the global mashup series.
Flushing Town Hall. I would say about 10 years ago, Flushing Town Hall came up with this idea. You get one kind of music and you get a band. Mm-hmm. That band plays. Mm-hmm. Then you bring another kind of music with a band and that band plays. And then the two of them get together and they jam. And so they always get, sometimes they'll get like a theme, like two different kinds of music from different parts of the world, but it's similar music.
Right.
Something
they two drum heavy bands.
Yeah, two drum heavy bands. But the whole idea is it's called global mashups, mm-hmm. and they take another, each one plays, and then they get together. Because
they want to show you that music is a universal language.
Music is a universal language. I once took a daughter of mine to Puerto Rican, to a sort of a salsa, the New Eurekan sound, mm-hmm. And after that it was an African group, and then the two of them jammed.
That's got to be a fun night.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
They still do the dance lessons prior.
Yeah, they do dance lessons prior. Yeah. So in this case, the title of the global mashup is Bollywood meets Global Roots Blues. So Falu, who's an absolutely beautiful woman and an internationally recognized vocalist, an Indian woman, mm-hmm. She will be playing with her band. And then a group called Hazmat Modine, which is, like I said, it's a blues group, but it melds African and Central Asian, Caribbean, and Eastern European influences.
That's got to be
so one
fun
the other.
night.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how she sings with a sort of more of a bluesy thing. But the thing about this night, which is March 9th, is it also kicks off the global mashup series. Now, you have a list of the other global mashups?
I do. The next one up is March 23rd. We'll probably end up talking about it.
So that means
as well.
Every 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's Western Swing meets Balkan Brass.
Okay.
Western Swing is the Brain Cloud. The Balkan Brass is Ramashka.
Okay.
April 6th, we have Latin Boogaloo meeting the Klezmer.
Oh, Latin Boogaloo. That was the name of the Puerto Rican group.
Spanglish Fly.
Spanglish Fly. Okay. They're fun. Meeting Klezmer.
Yeah.
And that's 2 weeks
that's
after
2 weeks.
That's
April 6th. Uh-huh. And then I didn't put the date down for this one. Global Bluegrass meets Cuba.
You mean like Kentucky Bluegrass?
Yeah.
Oh, meets Cuba. Very interesting.
And the last one is the most they're all very interesting, but this is just Balkan Punk, which I've never encountered, meets West Africa.
Oh, wow. That's going to be like.
That's going to be a fun night.
You get a punk rock group, and then you get a West African drum heavy.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Maybe they'll convert each other and they'll become a
I don't know if they're going to do it again
band.
this year, but QPTV televised all these.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they recorded it and
that's nice.
edited
That's
it and
nice.
put it out. So hopefully they'll do it again.
So that's kind of fun.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, and that starts on March 9th. Speaking of music, there's a musical. Have you ever heard of Spring Awakening?
I did not know about this.
It's
show.
starting a run at the Secret Theater. It starts on March 8th and it runs all the way to March 24th. I think in total they're going to do about 10 shows, and it's set in 1891 Germany.
Okay.
Like all good music.
Oh yeah.
And it's a play that I think that explores adolescence, coming of age, exploring morality and sexuality and all that kind of stuff. Hormonal teenagers. And so again, that's going to have many runs, including a bunch of weekend runs and double up days on weekends.
Secret Theater down in Long Island City.
Which if these guys musicians are good, they have very good acoustics at the Secret Theater.
That's very true. Yeah.
And there's also another play which is kind of fun. And it's what they call a Caribbean comedy. It's called Single Entry. It's at the York Performing Arts Center.
York College.
York College Performing Arts Center. I should probably say though it's only 3-day run, March 8th, 9th, and 10th. Although there are 4 shows. It's about 2 Jamaican women, and apparently they go through all these crazy things to try and get visas to come to the U.S. They fake someone's funeral, like kind of stuff so they can get a visa.
I like it.
Yeah, to get the fake social security numbers and all that kind of stuff. So that part is really funny. And then they come to the United States and they're actually in New York and they realize that they're not living much better than they were in Jamaica, and so there's like the whole that thing. So it's a comedy with kind of like a more a bigger theme about what is happiness and what is the first world and all that kind of stuff. So that I thought was kind of fun. 4 shows again. Saturday, the Astoria Choir. Now, do you remember the Astoria Symphony Orchestra?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's faded away or
no.
There were different groups. The Astoria Choir. It sounds small.
What's the one you always want them to change their name?
The Oratorio Society of
Yeah.
Queens. Well, this one too, because listen, you see it where it says the Astoria Choir. You think
I'm thinking a dozen.
Yeah, you're thinking like a couple of people in a church.
Like a jury box.
Right. It actually has about 100 members. So this is a
100?
huge. Yeah, this is a huge like choral society or a choral. We got to think of it, a choral mass.
Yeah, man.
And so it's a breakout. The Astoria Society is a breakout, I guess, or a spin-off
Offshoot,
or whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing a show called Canten a Coro, which is all Spanish language music. And some of them are going to be
I know this means
poems.
sing. What does a coro mean?
They sing in the chorus. Canten a Coro. The name of the thing is Canten a Coro. They sing as a chorus.
Not quite as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
No, but listen to what they're doing. They're going to be doing poems by Federico Garcia Lorca and Pablo Neruda.
Okay.
Federico Garcia Lorca was the Spanish poet.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Neruda was the Chilean poet who was known for incredibly romantic poetry. So they're going to actually.
And I love his sea bass.
You love Chilean sea bass? Yeah. But they're also going to be doing folk songs and villancicos. You know what they are? Villancicos.
I wish I did.
That's an old Spanish tradition. I would say probably from the 15th century of poetry, small poems put to music.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a poetic / music night. And then we have, do you like events where you can eat and
That's all. You can stop right there. You can stop right there. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Now, if there's more,
that's
even
just
more.
gravy.
Yeah.
That's gravy.
Gravy on the eating. Yeah.
Well,
what do you got from it?
They're doing, as you might know, the Queensboro Performing Arts Center is undergoing a renovation.
Okay.
So they've farmed out a lot of their shows to different parts of Queens. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So they came up with a thing at Verdi's restaurant. You know Verdi's
sure, catering
restaurant?
hall right on the side of the Cross Island Park.
Exactly. That's either Whitestone or Bayside.
I say Whitestone.
You'd say Whitestone? Yeah, it's probably Whitestone.
Yeah.
And they're having a concert there, a Friday night stand-up. They'll have a live DJ. They'll have an Italian buffet. Food is great there, as you know. And then they're going to have 3 comedians.
Okay.
Al Isaac, Scott Baker, and Vinnie Mark doing a show called It's Your Line Now.
And you know what that is? That's improv. It's sort of very similar to Whose Line Is It Anyway? If you saw that on Channel 7, on TV it used to be. But these guys are very, very good.
Yes.
And when I was reading up on this one particular, because all the comedy events I kind of like, they don't insult the crowd. Like that's not part of it.
Oh,
they want
really?
the audience to participate, but it's not going to be like sometimes comedians want you to participate, and it's only to just like kind of make fun of you.
Yeah.
These guys want you to be part of the show, have fun, have a good time.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of fun. So you can eat a buffet, so you can go back for seconds and thirds, between the comedy shows, etc. So that's kind of fun, and it's nice to see that QPAC is doing that.
I like
They're
that.
still working
I'm
through
glad.
their renovations and stuff. 2 running races.
Okay.
Are they even worth talking about with us?
Well, I mean, listen, I think it's good for people to run.
There are 2 running races in Forest Park on Sunday, March 10th. One is 5 miles and one is 10 miles. There's a loop there. There's a 2.5 mile loop. So one's 2 loops, the other one's 4 loops. If you would like to run, it's organized by the Queen's Distance Runners. It's timed. It's
Is that our buddy Speedy?
That's our buddy Speedy.
All right.
If
it's Speedy's event, we should talk
If it's
about
Speedy
it.
event, we should talk about it. I have actually, I did the On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. About,
you were a starter?
About 4 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's a very big honor.
Yeah, I said something like, "Hi, I'm Rob McKay from the Queens Tourism Council. Make sure you eat your Queens restaurants, stay in Queens hotels, and go
That's
to
the
Queens
pitch.
Culturals. All right, now on your mark, get set, go." So if you want to, it's okay. It's fun to watch people race. It's you see them
Listen,
come around.
man, I
Some
respect
people are
their
really
talent,
good.
right?
Former city council member. Elizabeth Crowley always runs in that race.
She's a runner. Okay.
She can do it. Yeah. Not only can she run, she's fast.
Good for her.
Yeah. Impressive. Other things. Is it worth talking about the live drawing of models?
What kind of models?
Go to Flushing Town Hall on March 11th, and in a very supportive environment, there will be live models, and you can draw them. Sort of
How
like
do
a
you?
club.
Can I volunteer to be a model?
Yes, I think you should call for Flushing Town Hall.
In my prior
You might
life, I
just-
was a plus size model.
Were-
I graced the cover of many chubby boy magazines.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
True story.
There's also a 6-workshop series, or 7 workshop series starting at Flushing Town Hall, where they're going to be working with seniors to help them find out how to tell stories through art. So the seniors will actually be getting involved in art projects, and they'll be able to learn so they can tell stories to their grandchildren, etc.
You know what? I would love to.
That is this March 13th, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one.
If they could teach some of my senior relatives how to tell a story that ends. Am I right?
Exactly. That's right. And the final one for me is, of course, the best one. Well, I don't know. Cheese making for beginners.
Oh, come on. It's going to be a good one.
Cheese making for beginners.
Yeah.
Cheese expert comes in, teaches you about how to make 2 types of soft cheese, explains to you the history and the science behind curds and whey.
I literally watched an entire video of how to make mozzarella the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Really?
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Well, this promises that you can go home with samples, recipes, instructions.
Amen.
I'm in. Cheese making. It's time has come.
Now, is the milk from Queen's cows? Because that would be
I don't think so, but it is at the Queens County Farmers Inn on March 13th.
Oh, very nice.
Cheese making for beginners.
I like it.
Yeah. That's just me. What have I missed?
I got a couple of things that I just wrote down real quick. First, want to shout out to the Purple Experience. Rob and I attended that show, and that was amazing.
Last week we talked about the Prince tribute band, and in fact we interviewed the guy.
Yes, Marshall was on our.
We both went. I had my wife. He had a whole crew of people there. Stood up the whole time.
I rolled deep.
You stood up the whole time.
I do. Yeah.
I went back for him to take pictures and soak it all in with the light show. But the guy was awesome.
Guy was awesome.
Yeah, the whole band was awesome.
Yeah,
Prince,
very talented musicians.
And as we know, Prince is a musical
And there was
genius.
a woman in the crowd who had an amazing voice.
And he even picked someone out of the crowd who was singing Raspberry Beret as well as anyone else can.
Yeah. So anyway, sticking on the music theme, that's why I brought it up. On March 13th at Resorts World, they have a band called Desperado Ridge. And what band do you think they make tributes
won't
to?
You, to your senses.
You got it. You're on it. You're on it.
Is that
they
who
fly
sings that?
like a?
Who sings this? The Eagles?
The Eagles. They're an Eagles tribute band.
An Eagles tribute band.
March 13th at Resorts World. And then some more comedy this week. QED has in Astoria
QED
has a
in
very
Astoria.
funny showcase called Casual Sets. So it's a play on words, obviously, but it's sort of a comedy show, and the two women who put it together is Lauren Hope Crass, like two letters, and Kristen Manna, and they're both very funny comedians. They kind of curate that show and bring their friends on, and it's a really nice show. And then there's a week at the Creek, which is the Creek in the Cave, by a guy named Jordan Temple, stand-up comedian.
And he's there for the whole week?
Whole week, yeah. He's there for the whole week, ending the 10th, I believe. And he's a stand-up comedian in his own right, but he's also a writer on the show Wonderful Mrs. Maisel, which is on Amazon.
Yeah, that's...
and it's about a woman who was a stand-up
is
comedian.
it Amazon or is it Netflix?
It's Amazon.
Is it Amazon?
Yep.
A bunch of people have been talking about that show.
If you have
They say it's
Amazon,
hilarious.
you must check it out. It's
Really?
amazing.
Yeah. And he's a writer on that
He's
show?
a writer on that show.
Fantastic.
And as a matter of fact, a couple of people who write on that show will appear on that show. So, and if you've seen it, the show is great stand-up comedy. It's about a woman.
It's a 1950s Jewish family.
Yes. Yeah.
A woman leaves her husband and...
He leaves her.
And
then she becomes a stand-up comedian in her own right. He's trying to become a stand-up, fails at it, and she beats him. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, great acting.
A Week at the Creek, they call
A Week at the Creek from Jordan Temple. And
that's
it's going to be
fantastic.
fun. Yeah. That's really all I have.
Okay. Getting back to Lewis Latimer. So this cutout, which is exactly to his size, it's life size, 5'8" he was, and another one of Louis Armstrong are going around the borough. They're at different hotels, different cultures. They're actually, the Louis Armstrong cutout is actually at the Lewis Latimer house right now.
Oh, wow. Netflix, though, Trading Lewis's.
Trading Lewis's. Anyway, if you see that, we're doing an Instagram promotion. People are taking pictures next to these, and they're doing it, posting it on their Instagram accounts with hashtag Where's Louis, Louis, and hashtag Where's Lewis, Lewis. This is Lewis.
Right.
Satchmo is Louis. And they're also doing hashtag It's in Queens. So you can go there now and look at some of the photos that people have already taken. We hope that you will be around the borough. And if you see these people, please take a picture and post it on your Instagram account.
That's right.
Remember, this guy, he helped invent the telephone and the light.
Yeah, do you enjoy seeing?
If he was still alive, he would have invented the camera.
Absolutely, he would have invented the iPhone.
Selfie. Yeah. So please, that's just another fun thing we're doing here.
It's Steve Jobs without a computer, basically.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you for paying for putting up with us.
That's right. Remember, the Taste of Queens is coming up very soon.
Don't forget the Taste of Queens on May 7th. He's going to be there.
That's right.
I'm going to be there.
Because if it's food,
actually, I think Lewis will be there.
I think both Lewises should be there.
I think they should be there.
Yeah.
And hope to see you in the borough this weekend.